Hey, hey, hey. Happy Friday night. Coming to you live with a guest. So Bobo might make a debut. But we're going to be quick because I got stuff baking in the oven. We're roasting cauliflower and broccoli, right, Bobo? Veggies most. But I think it's important to check in, especially before a weekend, where we want to get calibrated. We want to talk about where we are mentally, where we are potentially physically, where we feel like we're headed. And sometimes when you get into a rut, if you've ever driven a car into a muddy area and then the rain stops and the mud kind of dries in that rutted environment, think about that, because often our habits are the same way. We might intentionally set out to do something really healthy and nourishing for ourselves, and we get off course. Or maybe we have some emotional things that we're going through that pull us into our old habits, and those get ingrained again. So we want to talk about tonight just getting out of a rut and 10 quick and easy ways to recalibrate and get yourself right back out. So the first thing is to recognize that you're uncomfortable. If you remember why you originally said yes to this group, why you said yes to the 2B mindset, why you said yes to the journey, there was a level of discomfort in your life. That might have meant your pants no longer would button. It might have meant you were fatigued and lethargic all the time. It might have meant that you could not get down to the floor to play with your kids. It might have meant, hey Bobo, that your knees hurt. It might have meant that your lower back hurt, your joints hurt. Hey Mindy. It might have meant that you were not confident. Whatever that was, whatever the reason was why you joined, I want you to remember that, because that feeling of uncomfortable is where you are potentially right now. So recognize that you're uncomfortable. The cool part about recognizing anything in our life is that we can change it, right? You might also think about the fact that if you're in that spot of, I can't eat X, Y, and Z, you've gone back, right? I always say it's like going back to Egypt. You're back to an old habit when you say you can't eat something. We choose what we get to eat, okay? So first thing is recognize that you're uncomfortable. Number 2, recognize that it won't be easy. How many times have you ever started something and you've gained momentum and you've made tons of progress? Maybe it is cleaning out all the closets in your house, something I need to do. And you get momentum and you're in a rhythm and you are just cranking it out. And then something comes along and you stop. It is so hard to get going again. I think of it like those old-timey wells where you would pump water. It's so hard to get started. But once that pump is going, it takes no energy at all. I want you to recognize that if you're in a rut right now, it won't be easy to get out of the rut, but we will do it together. So you've got a group here to support you, and that's the fun part. I want you to think of it like this too. Whatever your goal is, think of it as this is not a lifetime of sacrifice. If you've learned nothing with the 2B mindset, I hope you've taken away the fact that it might be 6 months of earnest hard work and sacrifice to develop some habits that you're going to carry on for life, those life skills. It's worth the fight to get those honed in on, okay? So we're going to work together for that. What we've seen in this group, for the people who have stayed focused, not perfect, there is no perfect, but for the people who have stayed focused, 10 pounds a month. On average, 10 pounds a month, you can do that. So no matter where you are. All right, number 3. You have to start losing because unconsciously, if you do nothing at all, you'll gain. I love when our church talks about lukewarm faith. You're either gaining a relationship or you're really backpedaling. It's like that with this group. It's like that in life. You could apply that to really anything you want to talk about. But if you're not losing weight or learning, you are more than likely gaining weight. And a lot of times it's that, again, we're going to go back to that old habit. I used to fear the scale. I would not get on the scale because I was scared of what it would say. So the longer I stayed off of the scale, the more comfort I had in knowing that it had no power over me. But what do? You find yourself eating the chips, you find yourself having the extra glass of wine, you find yourself having a second serving of pie, you're going to the cookies, you're getting your sugar fix, And those habits start to creep in and the scale starts to go up. So remember, you have to feel that discomfort. You have to recognize it won't be easy, and you have to start back on the path to losing weight. Number 4, I want you to redefine what good food is, okay? Some of you have said things like, I've been eating good food, right? I used to think that good food was things like chips, even if it was healthier chips, right? I used to think that, well, because it was a healthified sweet, that was still good food. I will never shame a food. You are allowed to have whatever you want. But good, I want you to redefine what good means. Good means it makes you feel good, right? You don't feel good when you have to unbutton a button. You don't feel good if you're hungover the next day. You don't feel good if you are craving sugar from sun up to sundown. You're not feeling good. I want you to choose foods that fuel your body, that make you feel great. Water first, veggies most, okay? So recognize that uncomfortable feeling and move past that. Number 5 takes me right to that. You're gonna need a push, and that's what this is for. You are gonna need somebody, both your coach and your friends in this group to push you past that, right? We all get to rise to the challenge. Remember the exercise we did where we did our hands up and we said, go as high as you can? All right, now go a little bit higher, and we were all able to go a little bit higher. That's what I want you to think about right now. And sometimes we need a setback. Crazy people. Hey Brooks, I'm recording a video, okay? So not so loud. Sometimes we need a setback so that we can really stage a comeback, okay? So we wanna get refocused and really clear about where we're headed. Number 6, aside from food, this is where we start to talk about emotions. Aside from food, what caused you to backslide or put on the extra pounds or to go back to where you started? What was it? Was it a stressful work situation? Was it maybe a relational conflict? Was it a change of scenery? Maybe you've been traveling a lot. We get into those scenarios around the holidays where we're on the go, and there's not a whole lot of consistency. Was it lack of sleep? Were you staying up late? Were you socializing with friends? Maybe you were getting up early. You had some stuff that you had to take care of in the mornings. What else did I write down? A lot of things are changes not food related. I want you to start thinking about, writing down, and really starting to mentally wrap your brain around what has changed in the last week, month, 6 months, okay, in your life, because those things are super important, and we can really start to redirect the ship once you identify those things. All right, number 7, if you are eating foods that make you feel shame, that make you feel guilty, that make you feel insert negative emotion, I want you to drop the fork. Alana talks about that in one of the videos, but I want that to be clear. Again, I've used the example before, like having a treat is a wonderful thing when you're enjoying a home-baked slice of pie that Aunt Betty makes and you look forward to it and you've planned on it and you are celebrating friendships and it's an amazing time and you're savoring that. It's a whole different thing when you're eating Aunt Betty's pie because you were stressed out at work or you got into a fight with your spouse, okay? We want to take that back. If you are in a negative headspace, drop the fork, all right? We're not going to eat foods that make us feel bad. And if you're thinking, I probably shouldn't be eating this, guess what? You should not be eating that. So walk away. Number 8, get support. That's what we're here for. And it's more than just this group. This is something so important. And I actually found something from the very first group I ever did when I was trying to get started on my health journey. And I was challenged to tell somebody about what I was doing, to give them permission to say, hey, remember you're on this journey. I support you. Tell somebody, tell your spouse, tell your coworkers, tell your kids, tell them that you are on the road to somewhere else. You will have some big goals for your life. You want to feel great. And that may mean that they have to take an active role in that. If it's somebody that you're working with, they may have to stop bringing donuts every Friday morning. And that's okay, because a good friend and a good support system will do that for you. So take control of that, all right? Number 9, push yourself. There's no other way to say it. I love to have a lot of excuses in my own mind, and I've had to call myself out on some stuff lately, right? So we need to push ourselves and eliminate the excuses. Can't use the excuse that we can't get fresh food, right? Everybody delivers groceries these days. There's so many things that are plentiful. Salads are everywhere. Even McDonald's has a salad. You can buy like even if you can't zoodle your zoodles, you can buy them pre-zoodled. That's not even a word. Pre-zoodled. What is that thing called? Spiralizers. So healthier foods are just as inexpensive as unhealthy foods these days. So if you shop seasonally, we get to eliminate all the excuses. Finally, number 10, if you could do it before, you can do it again. Alana talks about, to her coaching team, she talks a lot about the rule of doubling. If you lost 5 pounds before, you can lose 10 pounds. If you lost 10 pounds before, you can lose 20 pounds. Obviously, if you have that much weight to lose. But I want you to think about that, because that is putting the ownership on you. You are in the driver's seat. You are the captain of the boat. You get to determine where you're going. It isn't the plan that will get you there. It's your ownership of the plan. It's your ownership in stepping into the chemistry lab, figuring out what fuels you, what makes you feel great, branching out, calling uncle when you need support, reaching out, being vulnerable, being part of this group. So I'm going to quickly fly through 1 through 10 again. And I want you to think about this if you're in a rut, okay? Number 1, recognize that you're uncomfortable again, whatever that means to you. Number 2, recognize it won't be easy, but we're here for you. Number 3, recognize that you need to start losing weight again, okay? We're not in maintenance mode. Number 4, redefine what good food is. Good food is something that makes you feel good. Number 5, you're gonna need a push. Number 6, aside from food, I want you to assess what might have caused weight gain for you. Number 7, if you're eating foods that cause you shame or guilt or a negative mind space, drop the fork. Number 8, did I say number 7? Number 8, get support. That's what we're here for. Lean into this group. Number 9, push yourself, right? We like to say treat yourself, but push yourself. Y'all have it in you. You never know what you're made of until you push yourself. That is the amazing thing. And I would be willing to bet if you were willing to say, you know what, for the rest of December, I'm actually gonna double down on this. I'm gonna get my act together and I'm gonna track diligently and I'm gonna do water first and veggies most. I'm gonna rewatch all the videos. You will be surprised. I bet it. Yes, I will put this in printable format. And number 10, if you could do it before, you can do it again. For those of you who lost 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 5 pounds, it's just because you took your hands off the wheel. It's okay. These are life skills. You can do it again. You have it in you, and we're gonna cheer you on along the way. All right, no more ruts. No more ruts. Although it is raining here, there might be some ruts, but have a great weekend.